Hello, this is Rabbi Dr. Juan Marcos Bejarano Gutierrez, and we're continuing through our study of Jewish views of life after death, or Jewish views of the afterlife. And we begin this video by looking at the word Sheol. Sheol, we find translations of it in JPS Tanakh and in other English versions. Sheol, from an academic perspective, might be actually derived from an Assyrian word shu'alu, or shilu. The first means the abode of the dead, and the second refers to a chamber. Now, if you think about it in the context of death, it makes sense that it might be a chamber because we think about the Egyptians who were buried in pyramids. There was a special chamber. Even in areas where pyramids were not common, in the ancient Near East, a burial chamber, was something that was often found in those practices. Now, Rabbi Louis Jacobs suggests two possible meanings for the word Sheol. The first is derived from the word sha'al, which means to ask. Sheol may thus refer to the place where inquiry of the dead is made. And of course, this is one of the Torah's prohibitions, or it's one of the commandments for which the Jewish people are forbidden to participate in, right? Asking, inquiring of the dead through a medium or through some type of other venue, through the practice of necromancy. Now, an alternative meaning to Sheol is that of a state of hollowness or vagueness, which in turn may refer to a shadowy region of the underworld, or the netherworld as it's often translated in the JPS version of the Tanakh, and this is where the dead reside. So you can almost see this kind of connection to Hades in Greek thought. The Tanakh, or the Hebrew Scripture, never explicates the exact nature of Sheol, but it does present different images of it. And if you watch the initial video where I discuss different characteristics that are contained in the Tanakh, you'll see that those images are different in many ways. So what we want to do in this video is we want to continue, and we're not really going sequentially through biblical verses per se, but we're looking at specific verses to give us an understanding of what Sheol is characterized at. So, for example, in Sefer Yeshayahu, Isaiah 7:11, we read the following. We read, She'al lechaot me'im Adonai Elohecha ha'emek sha'ala o ha'becha lemala. Ask thee for a sign of the Lord thy God. Ask it either in the depth or in the height above. Now, in this particular case, we don't have a specific reference to Sheol. But what I wanted to show you was that, we have a contrast, obviously, from the heights to Ha'amek, sort of the, I guess you could say the valley, some area that's low. And Sha'ala is the question that's asked. But you can see sort of the connection between these two, these concepts of something that is low. Now, of course, we can ask the same of something that's on high. But I think it was just sort of an interesting point to consider. If we look at Isaiah 57:9, we read, "V'tashuri lamelech b'shemen, v'tarbi riku chayich, v'te shalchi tziraich ad merachok, v'tash pili ad Sheol. And thou wentest to the king with ointment, and did increase thy perfumes, and did send thine ambassadors far off, even down to the netherworld." So the netherworld, Sheol, is some far away place in some sense. And yet we're going to see that ultimately it's in these particular passages is designated as being under the earth. So it's something that's distant, and yet it's also in this dimension, I guess you could say, in terms of its locality. And we'll pick up on the next video in terms of the descriptions of Sheol as being under the earth.